Hello everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar today. My name is Nick Pusateri. Today I will be showing you how to use the cloud to solve a modal transient analysis on the 3D Experience platform using specifically a role called Structural Engineer. Now if we click on this particular role on the platform, you will see a listing of apps that work with that particular role. So roles are things you can purchase, and with those roles, a certain amount, or should I say a certain number of apps come with that role to run your simulations with. So let's click on the Design with SOLIDWORKS app to open the native already installed SOLIDWORKS desktop software. Doing this will keep SOLIDWORKS connected to the cloud to be able to save or upload your models to the platform to run your simulations on, which is what I'm going to show you how to do next. So with the model open in SOLIDWORKS and being connected to the platform, we'll see on the right hand side of our screen our model listed under the component name column. So with a simple right click of the component listed there, we'll choose Save with Options. We'll next choose to save the model on the platform in a bookmark. So bookmarks are a way to organize your data on the platform, since everything is essentially put in a single vault location. So in this case, I'm saving to a bookmark called Sim Webinar. The Save to 3D Experience window also shows what bookmark we are saving to. To know if the model was saved to the cloud successfully, you will next see a green check mark symbol under the status column on the right-hand side. Since we put our model into its own bookmark tab, we'll next simply click on the model called Webinar SOLIDWORKS Model V0, and then next choose to open it in the app called Structural Model Creation. Now you may be asking yourself, what is structural model creation? Well, structural model creation is the pre-processed setup where you assign materials and section properties, declare how the assembly will interact in your analysis with connections, and the type of mesh, whether it's tetrahedral, shell, beam, rectangular, or quadratic, being the type of mesh you plan to use. So all of this is what I will show you how to do on the platform next. So when we go to open Structural Model Creation app, you will first be prompted to choose what type of automated FEM category you would like to use. Using the standard option will mainly lock you to only be able to use 2D or 3D tetrahedral style elements on all parts in an assembly. Using the empty FEM option allows you to use many different types of mesh elements and the ability to create FEMs for parts in an assembly without having to mesh the whole thing with one style of mesh element. Next, we'll mesh our model. So let's take a look at the slow force von Mises plot here. So here we can make a number of adjustments to the interface to make it easier to read. We can, of course, view results at a specific solution time step. We can also animate the plot. Now at first, it animates pretty quickly. So we'll choose to slow the animation down a bit. We can do the same setup for now on a displacement plot of the slow force analysis we ran. Next, we'll create a XY transient history plot at the coupling location of our slow force analysis. Now that we have results for the slow force analysis, we next need to run the analysis with a fast force response to the analysis. To duplicate this for the fast force, we'll first go to the setup action bar while in the linear structural scenario creation app. We'll next choose to duplicate the analysis case option, and then we'll name the analysis linear dynamic fast force, and then click OK. So we can now see our analysis, or our new analysis, or a duplicate study in the feature tree, which of course is an exact copy of the slow force analysis. We will need to update the general amplitude to now use a fast force style of loading. So we'll edit the existing amplitude plot by first renaming it to fast force. Then we'll type in new values and then observe the plot ramps up quickly at the beginning, then holds for a moment, and then quickly releases the loading at the end. Since this study is a copy of the slow force analysis, we'll need to rename the existing modal dynamics step to fast force application, for good bookkeeping purposes, of course. We'll also keep the other settings as the same as before. We'll next go ahead and click Simulate to start the solve or run the fast force analysis. We'll basically use the same settings as before, but this time we'll uncheck to rerun the first study again. So we'll only run the new study here. So just like before, we'll take a look at the von Mises stress results, followed by a quick animation of this plot. We'll also take a look at the displacement plot and observe an animation of this plot as well. Then lastly, we'll create an XY transient history plot at the coupling location of our fast force analysis. So what conclusions do we see from all of this? I went ahead and ran this same model on the platform using a linear static analysis method. So what you see here are screenshots of the Max von Mises results for both the linear static and the linear dynamic slow force analysis. Here you can see a screenshot of the max displacement results for both the linear static and linear dynamic slow force analysis. And if we zoom in, we can see that the global max results for each of these study types is in a region that is more of a compression load than a tensile load. So these areas will need additional consideration if they are a failure mechanism we are trying to capture. But if we look in areas in tensile load, we can see for both study types, we are not that far off from each other in stress results. So as you can see in each picture, there's 664 here for that study and 664 here. But if we look at both the slow and the fast force stress plots in the tensile style loaded area, we see that they are somewhat far off from each other. So what do we conclude here? The end results show that the dynamic solutions for a slowly applied force provides results that are close to the results of a static analysis. So this confirms the basic assumption of static analysis, that forces must be applied very slowly to minimize the effect of inertial forces. The fast force study, with a sudden increase in the force magnitude, provides a very different solution because of the substantial inertial effects. Thank you everyone for attending this webinar today. This concludes today's webinar.